The biggest players in AI just got betrayed by their own pricing strategy. Companies spending millions per month on premium models are quietly discovering that cheaper alternatives deliver nearly identical results. There is a detail buried in the economics of this shift that changes everything about who wins and who loses. And what I found when I dug into the real numbers stopped me cold. Right now, the AI industry is experiencing something it did not plan for. OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and Meta have spent the last 2 years in an arms race to build the most powerful, most expensive models on the planet. They assumed bigger always meant better. That assumption is collapsing. The number that stopped me cold is coming up. According to TechCrunch AI, if the same AI workloads can be handled by cheaper models without affecting quality, it would mean a massive shift in the economics of AI. Let me unpack what that actually means for you right now. Enterprise companies are paying anywhere from 10 to 30 times more per API call when they use frontier models like GPT-4o or Claude Opus compared to their smaller siblings. We are talking about the difference between fractions of a cent and several cents per call. That sounds tiny until you realize that a mid-sized SaaS company running AI features might process tens of millions of calls per month. The cost difference between using a premium model and a capable, cheaper one can be hundreds of thousands of dollars annually for a single company. And here is what matters to you directly. If you work in tech, if you build products, if you manage budgets, or if you simply use AI tools at work, this cost compression is about to reshape which companies survive and which ones bleed out. The startups that figured this out early are already undercutting incumbents on price while matching them on quality. By the way, if this kind of story is useful to you, hit like. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people. What I am about to show you is the part most people are missing. The deeper angle here is not just about saving money, it is about power. The big model providers, OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, they have built their entire business model around the idea that you need their most expensive product. OpenAI charges a premium for GPT-4o access. Anthropic prices Claude Opus significantly above Claude Sonnet. Google positions Gemini Ultra above Gemini Flash. The assumption is that the premium tier justifies the premium price, but a growing number of engineering teams inside Fortune 500 companies are running internal benchmarks and finding something uncomfortable. For 80 to 90% of their actual production workloads, the cheaper model performs within a few percentage points of the expensive one. Not for research papers, not for synthetic benchmarks, for real business tasks. Customer support summarization, document extraction, code review, content generation, routing, and classification. The villains in this story are not evil. They are just incentivized to keep you on the expensive tier. The heroes are the engineering leads, quietly running A/B tests and proving that the premium model is overkill for most of what their company actually does. The people caught in the middle are founders and CTOs who already committed budgets and architectures around expensive models and now face the political nightmare of admitting they overspent. Think about what that means for you personally. If your company is paying for the top tier model and your competitor figures out they can deliver the same product experience at a fraction of the cost, your margins just became their advantage. Stay with me. The last part is what actually matters. Here is the insight almost nobody is talking about. The surprising truth is not that cheaper models are catching up. It is that the expensive models might actually be unable to maintain their price premium long enough to recoup their training costs. Training a frontier model costs hundreds of millions of dollars, sometimes exceeding $1 billion. Those costs are justified only if customers keep paying top dollar for inference over years. But if a model that cost 50 million to train handles 90% of workloads just as well as one that cost a billion, the billion-dollar model does not just lose market share. It becomes a stranded asset. That is a term from the energy industry. It means you built something expensive that the market no longer values enough to pay for. Here is exactly what happens next. Within 18 months, we will see at least one major AI lab quietly deprecate or dramatically discount a frontier model because cheaper alternatives cannibalized its revenue. The AI pricing war is not coming. It already started. And the companies that win will not be the ones with the most powerful model. They will be the ones that match the right model to the right task at the right price. None of the press releases will tell you that. Before I go, here is your tech tip of the day. If you are running multiple AI models and comparing their outputs, you can use Python's built-in difflib module to generate side-by-side comparisons without installing anything. Import difflib, then use difflib .enml diff and call the makefile method, passing in your two text outputs split by lines. It generates a full HTML file with color-coded differences highlighted in line. Pipe the output to a .html file and open it in your browser. This is massively useful when you are benchmarking whether a cheaper model actually produces meaningfully different results from an expensive one, because your eyes will catch semantic drift that automated metrics miss. No pip install required. It ships with Python's standard library. That is your tip for today. If the idea of billion-dollar stranded assets in AI surprised you, you are going to want to see what is coming next week. Subscribe to Future Edge. I cover this every single day. See you tomorrow.